my name is Armegon and welcome back to my channel. And since my return to YouTube, I would say that this has been one of my more requested videos, and this is going to be my LAMZU Atlantis Mini as well as the Sora 4K review. Now right off the bat, I'm just going to say that I find that these two mice are the standard of gaming mice in terms of the specs, the price, the quality, everything about these mice. They're all amazing and fantastic, and this is what we should be having moving forward. Now yes, the Atlantis Mini I have in my hand here is a 1kHz polling rate mouse, while the Sora 4K is, as the name suggests, a 4kHz polling rate mouse. Generally, I find that the whole 4kHz polling rate thing is a pretty big gimmick, in the sense that I don't think that extra like 0.5 milliseconds reaction time or that extra bit of smoothness really justifies the weight increase as well as the price increase for most of these mice. But the Sora 4K has improved itself compared to the 1K version of this mouse. Obviously, to each their own. If you really think that you play better on a 4K, I'm not going to say that you're wrong and I'm right. But personally, just my own personal preference, I find that playing on a 1K mouse with lighter weight is always slightly better. And that's why I chose the LAMZU Atlantis Mini 1K, not the 4K. Now, going through the shape of these two mice, they're obviously very similar, as a lot of people have pointed out before. And they're obviously both meant for claw grip or fingertip grip. Now, generally, the front half of both mice feel nearly identical, aside from the fact that the Sora is a little bit flatter, while the LAMZU Atlantis Mini has some very slight grooves for you to put your fingers in. Now, the back half of both mice are where the differences really start to get very noticeable, and I'd say that the Ninjutsu Sora 4K is basically a more stretched out version of the LAMZU Atlantis Mini. The shape of the Sora is definitely the more aggressive one, where it really fills up the base of your palm, and it really locks you into that claw grip. And personally, I don't really like that because my grips are a bit more versatile from game to game, and so I prefer the Atlantis Mini where it's a little bit shorter and there's a bit more freedom of movement as to how I grip the mouse. But if you're someone who exclusively uses a very aggressive claw grip, then the Sora is definitely the one for you. Now, the build quality and quality control of both mice are absolutely fantastic, where there's absolutely zero creaking, there's zero rattling no matter where I press, and the fact that these mice are like half the price of the Finalmouse, which does have this problem, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. And for quality control, the reports of these mice arriving broken or breaking very early on are pretty much bare minimum, in the sense that I've only seen like 1 or 2 reports at most over the past year for both these mice. But yeah, the coating on both mice are fantastic as well, with the Atlantis Mini using a bit more of a rubberized coating, while the Sora 4K has a bit more of an ABS grippy type of coating. I have no idea what they've used. This is the first time I've seen this on a gaming mouse, but it's fantastic. The scrolling and sight buttons on both mice are very tactile and easy to activate, and I really enjoy how bouncy they are. And that brings me to my final two points, which are my favorite parts of these mice. Now, the first one's gonna be a bit more simple. It's gonna be the weight of these mice. Now, the Sora 4K is around 48 grams, while the Atlantis Mini is around 49 grams. And the reason why this is one of my favorite parts of the mice is because these mice are full shells. They're not using magnesium, and there are no cutouts on the shell of the mouse, unless you want to count the base of the Atlantis Mini. And these mice are sub 50 grams with some of the best build quality I've seen to date. The fact that 2 years ago, the Finalmouse Starlet 12 first came out, and it blew everyone's minds that it weighed below 50 grams is astonishing to me, because mice are casually hitting that weight range with plastic and minimal cutouts. That is fantastic. Now, personally, I do prefer honeycomb shells because I like having less weight where I can, and I think they look cool. But the fact that these are full shells, that's something I have to acknowledge, and it's really blowing my mind that these are the standard nowadays. Now, the last thing I like about both these mice are going to be the clicks, more so the Sora than the Atlantis Mini. Now, the Atlantis Mini is pretty standard, uses Huano blue-pink shell dots. I didn't know those existed. I thought they were only blue or pink shells. I didn't know there was a blue-pink, but yeah, they're pretty standard. They're very crispy and they're very light, easy to spam. And here's a quick sound test. It's nothing special, it's pretty standard. Now, the Sora 4K, however, is not standard, because I'd say that out of every mouse I've used, over 100 of them, this has my favorite clicks out of any mouse. They're using their own optical switches, and the implementation of it is some of the lightest, crispiest, and bounciest clicks I've felt on any mouse, and I absolutely love it. Now, I really do hope that moving forward, more gaming companies will actually pick this up and actually start moving this direction as well, because this is fantastic. Both these mice have minimal pulse and pre-travel on the clicks. They're both very bouncy. And for the Minecraft players, yes, you can do your butterfly clicking and drag clicking. There's debounce time and everything for these switches. And for FPS gamers, there is no double clicking whatsoever if you don't want it to. Now, with that being said, you can probably see why these mice are currently my top recommendations for gaming mice at around the $100 price range. The Atlantis Mini is around 90 bucks, and the Sora 4K is 120, so it's a little bit more, but it is 4kHz polling rate. Like I said, I really don't like 4kHz because of the price markup, but yeah, it is what it is. Now, the fact that both these mice are priced around at only 100 bucks compared to something like the Finalmouse Starlet 12 that's 190, and the Viper Mini Signature Edition, which is like what, fucking 280 bucks. And these mice are still like what, on the level if not better than those mice. But yeah, that really blows my mind, and I really hope that moving forward, this is not only the standard or gaming mice in terms of the specs and the build and everything, but also on the pricing. But yeah, aside from that, let me know what you guys think about these mice in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.